Rita, thank you very much for your time. 5 magazine, it's been a great year for you.
Yeah.
3 #1 singles, a #1 album. How's it been for you?
Don't know. It's been. No, yeah, of course I know. It's been very surreal. It's been really quick. I never really expected anything. Do you know what I mean? I've been kind of in and out of deals since I was 14, so I just thought it was another kind of disappointment, like all the other deals that I was in. So when it just started to happen, you really just don't know when your window's gonna come. It just comes like that, and when it comes quick. So I loved it.
So, I mean, you talked about your disappointments as a kid. I mean, there's obviously young girls and young guys out there who are on this road to trying to become a superstar.
Yeah.
How did you kind of pick yourself up and dust yourself down and continue striving for your dream?
I guess it's just kind of like a test of, is this really what you want to do? You know what I mean? I think it's one of those things where, sometimes you kind of break a leg, especially with what you do. It's like sometimes, you might break your toes, break your legs, but you kind of carry on and you train. It's like a muscle. It's like, it really does test how hungry you are. So if you're really hungry, then you'll be fine.
Just going back to the beginning, obviously you've got links to your parents from Kosovo.
Yeah.
You've done a music video there a while ago.
I did, for Shine Your Light.
But where are you based now, and where are you living?
Like now I live in High Street Kensington, still in West London, but I live just around that area in West. But I grew up in Portobello Road, cool. Ladbroke Grove. So I was all about the carnivals every year.
Yeah.
I was different back. I think I had brown short hair. I don't think you would have recognised me.
No.
So
was it cool growing up? Was you one of the loud chicks in your school, or what?
Yeah. I was one of the. I went to Sylvia Young Theatre School, so there was a whole bunch of loud singing people walking down the corridors. Yeah. But I was one of the ones that wasn't really like the musical theatre kind of girl. I was more about the, urban music and the R&B music and what I loved listening to.
Who was there at them times? There must have been a few stars there.
The Saturdays were there.
Oh, yeah.
Vanessa was like a year above me, and Amy I think was a few years older than me.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it for now. Oh, and some actors that I've seen in movies randomly. I've seen them in movies. I'm like, hold on, you used to be in my school. But yeah.
You was in a film as well, wasn't you, around that time? Is it Spivs?
Yeah, that was my first paid, checked job.
Was it?
Yeah, that was the first time.
Can we ask how much?
It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot. It was definitely something where I was like, I don't care. I just wanted to be in a movie. And I had so much time off school. It was with Jack D and Ken Stott. It was like a proper English movie. It was great.
Did you see yourself kind of going into that when you've kind of established?
Yeah, I mean, there's some great plans coming out next year in the movie world, so I can't wait for you guys to see them.
You're going to be doing some stuff, yeah? Yes.
And it involves cars.
Cars?
Oh, boom. No, I'm just saying.
Whoa.
It's going to be amazing though. I'm really excited about it because I think people are going to be surprised.
What about your acting talent?
Yeah.
Oh, she's not shy. She's got confidence.
No, I think it's just going to be a cool kind of different side of me that people haven't seen. Yeah.
Oh, so did you study a lot of acting when you was a kid as well?
It came in the school. Every Thursday, Friday, we do dancing, singing and acting.
Okay.
And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we do what we had to do, like maths, English and science.
Boring stuff.
Stay in school.
But I look back on some of the old stuff that you've done. You worked with Craig David, Tintin Strider and them kind of people.
Yeah.
How did that kind of come about as you wasn't really, was you signed then? Or
what? I wasn't signed then. I was signed to a production company, to a producer, which never really worked out. And I met Craig through that producer. They were working on his album and then I actually just demoed a vocal for his track, one of his tracks, and he kept me on it. And that's how it basically got started. Craig was actually one of the first people I ever worked with ever.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's a talented guy, man. He's
so talented and he's really cool and he really backed me up. He gave me a lot of free studio time and I was only, 15, 16?
But just fast forwarding from there, obviously everyone talks about Jay-Z and you signed
yes.
to the label.
Yeah, I got signed now.
How did that kind of come about and how did that feel for such an iconic music star?
Oh, well, I met Jay when I was 18. I sent my demos to Rock Nation when I was 17, turning 18, around Christmas time. And I didn't really know what to expect. Jay Brown and Tai Tai, who worked with Jay, got my demo and a few days later they called me up and they said they'd love to meet me. I was like, what? And in my head, I'm like, okay, I have no money to go to New York, not thinking that they were gonna buy me a ticket. So I'm there trying to hustle, selling trainers, literally 10 times the speed that I would do it to try to buy a ticket. And then I realized that they're they're more than comfortable, so they obviously got me a ticket on Air India. Don't know why.
India? Well, it's cheap, isn't it? It's cheap.
Yeah, but it was no, but it was funny. It was funny because they had a really, really funny menu on Air India.
Food.
Yeah, it was just curry. It was just like
everything curry.
It was just it was just like there was curtains on the windows. Like it looked like a proper Indian cultural plane. Have you ever been on Air India?
I don't think I have. To be
Yeah,
honest.
you don't need to. Anyway, so then I flew to New York, and that's when I met Jay for the first time.
Cool. So when you met him,
it was scary.
Daunting,
yeah, it was scary. It was a bit. I didn't know what to expect. I was scared because I knew how much of an icon he was.
Yeah.
Even though I'm more of a Beyonce fan because I'm a singer, so I wasn't really like listening to Jay-Z like that.
Yeah.
But I knew who he was, of course.
Yeah.
But when I met him, I couldn't believe it, you know. I couldn't believe that I was in a position where I could really change my life around. And then we shook hands literally 10 minutes in the conversation and it was done.
Did you have to sing for him there?
No.
You just obviously heard.
He heard my demos, we just went to meet and we played music for like 2 hours to each other, like music that we loved, like growing up. And we had like a DJ battle.
Is it? So who was you pulling for? Who were your people? Who were your...
I was like going back to like, I was thinking, should I involve the fact that he's like older than me? Should I pretend like I know my older generation of music? Or should I just shock him with some new kids that he has no idea about? Yeah. But he did, he knew about everything, of course. So I just sent him like what I grew up listening to, like Eric Clapton and like Marvin Gaye, and like, then I went and took it to like a bit of dancehall world, and then I went and I took it back to what I love, which is like my Supremes and Blondie and like No Doubt and things like that.
Do they have any kind of influence on your direction and stuff now? Him and Beyonce maybe?
I always take into consideration their opinions, but you know, I always try and follow where my gut wants to go. Like obviously when you have a name and a voice like that kind of giving you advice, you don't just ignore it, you know what I mean? But there's only a certain amount you're gonna accept when it comes to your own music.
So obviously you've got a #1 album, I mean, Yippee.
Yippee, yippo!
But I mean, how long did it take you to make the album? How hard was it kind of, and get in the right direction and all your ideas across?
It took me about 2.5 years, 3 years, 2 years. Because when I first started recording, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't know who I wanted to be, what I wanted to say. So I recorded a lot of music. I could tell you guys probably about over 150 songs of stuff that you haven't even heard.
You see, hard work. It don't come easy. You didn't put 10 out of 10 tracks down or 20 tracks down. 150 tracks, come on, man.
I recorded a lot of tracks that no one is ever gonna hear, and they just sit there. It's crazy, but you have to kind of do that until you find what you want to do. So that's why it took so long.
So getting to work with all these great artists and producers and stuff
was a journey,
Drake and all these people.
Yeah.
Who kind of impressed you
the most?
The most out of these guys?
I'll probably have to say they all are different. Like Drake is just such a great songwriter. Yeah. Full stop. Like the new record that I'm doing now, actually starting to record it, is completely different. But the songwriting is staying very similar to, you know, how me and Drake work and how me and Will.i.am work. But to tell you the truth, Drake and Will.i.am, because they're artists, like as well, I kind of really understood how they worked. Like Will was doing like 4 things at once. He was working on the Usher "Oh My God" track, you know, working on my song and doing a cartoon at the same time.
You also toured with Coldplay too.
Yeah.
I mean, that must have been.
That was my first tour.
And stuff. Your first tour. Well, that's an intro to know. That gets you ready.
Yeah, that was my first ever tour, a taste of like the life on tour. If you can imagine like performing in front of 80,000 people every night in a stadium.
That's what I do, but
oh yeah, but like, of course that is what you do, but I don't.
No.
So when I went out there every kind of night for like 2 weeks, I don't know how you can listen to all those shoutings and roarings and still concentrate, because when I saw 80,000 people, I nearly fainted.
I can imagine. I mean, for me it's easy because I'm with 22 people on the pitch.
Oh, so it's like a big boy band.
Exactly, we're a big boy band, exactly. But so it's not just me. But with you guys, it's just you, and one mistake from you guys, they know. Your fans are all eager to understand and listen to you and see you. And
exactly. But it was really, really scary. But it was amazing because after we got into it, it was like bam, 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 bam. It was, and watching Coldplay every night, I was like, yeah.
You can't get any better teachers.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So again, I'm a big X Factor fan.
Yeah.
I saw you on there.
Yeah.
And I mean, what kind of experience was that? It must have been crazy, no?
As the judge or when I performed?
Both, as a judge first. And
then when I was judging, I was actually kind of nervous because I was like, you know, this is the first time the UK public are kind of hearing me speak properly instead of just through my music and interviews. So it was a bit nerve-wracking, but I got in there and it was probably one of the funnest things I've ever done. It was so much fun. And you have like the crowd behind you, so you have their energy, and then you have the panel next to you, and then you just got things that you just would never expect come on stage, like Rylan, for example. You know what I mean? That's just one prime example. And then there was that £1 fish man.
Oh, yeah,
that was all
crazy.
part of it. That was really nice. And then there was a few other artists like James Arthur, which I kind of loved. It was nice to be part. No, he was there, but I wasn't there in that morning. I came in the afternoon.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, because I had to show.
Do you think he's got a good chance, him? Because he seems quite a natural performer.
He's great.
Yeah.
I have 100% faith in that. I think he's going to do absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that.
His voice is incredible.
So just to move on, I saw a picture, funny enough, on the way here.
Uh-oh, what was I doing? Oh yeah, oh!
What was that about?
Oh, it was so good!
So where was that?
In Dubai. I went skydiving over the Palm Islands. I've been wanting to do it for years. It's been like my dream to go skydiving. So I finally did it.
Crazy.
I couldn't, literally, it's like your body's coming out of your body. Like your spirit is not in your body. And you're kind of just you're just literally falling. Like, you know when you fall on the floor?
It's heart attack material.
But you're falling for literally 5 minutes straight and you can't do anything about it.
Can you breathe properly?
Very hard to breathe because the wind is so strong, it's really hard to breathe. I was like...
My picture looks like that.
Does it? It does, doesn't it? My picture was like this and my skin was like that. I was like... But it was funny. It was such a great fun. I really suggest you do it if you've never done it before.
I don't like that kind of stuff.
You live once, you have to. I really think you should.
Well, maybe. One more thing as well, your fashion. I know you're heavily into fashion.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
You're talking about your trains and stuff before. Who are your kind of inspirations in that field?
Do you know, it's not more people, it's more like eras. Like I like how time has kind of evolved from like the Victorian times to like the 80s to the 90s to like now. So it's more about how people kind of have evolved, which has inspired me. Like the things that people wouldn't expect you to wear because it's not in the time frame or it's not in the era. Like that's why I love clothes so much. So if I had to like give it a name, it would probably be like the 90s.
Yeah.
Mixed, yeah, because you always see a little bit of street in my clothes. Like you always find like a...
What was you, like an Oi Lily Naff Naff type? Did you go back there? Was you there through the room?
I was more like a Nina Cherry kind of like
Nina Cherry, yeah.
Nina slash white girl slash punky.
So mixed.
I was a bit of everything. Yeah, my mum and dad are a bit confused. Yeah, because if you look at them, you'd never think that I came from them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We gotta dig out.
They'd be very confused.
Yeah.
You'd be very confused, yeah.
Oh, good. We'll look forward to seeing them.
Yeah, one's like a doctor. My mum, my dad's a pub owner. So
Did
he
they
owns
have much
pubs.
influence on you growing up, in terms of like where you are now?
They would support me in everything. They would always have my back, pay for everything, pay for my school, pay for my everything. But they never really were the most talented folk in the world. But they had great taste in music. That's why I love music so much, because my mum and dad's ears are priceless. Like they have great taste.
They have like a kind of...
He had a
like
huge collection, like probably the size of this wall, of just vinyls and CDs.
It's exactly like Martha.
Really?
Yeah, Marvin Gaye, Eric
All of
Clapton,
them. No one could touch his vinyl player.
Yeah.
No one. If you touched it, you are dead.
We seem like the same household.
Yeah.
You'd touch something, you'd know it was out of place.
Yeah, you'd know. You'd like see the fingerprint.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Right. So Rita, tell us about your tour.
Yes, I'm excited. My tour's called Radioactive. I'm looking forward to where we start in Manchester on the 28th of Jan. That's when we start. And I have my London dates 5th and 6th and 7th. Shepherd's Bush Empire, which I always used to drive past, by the way, and like wish, and now I sold it out 3 times.
Are you coming to Manchester or not?
Huh?
You coming to
Yeah,
Manchester?
it opens in Manchester on the 28th.
That's right, as long as I'm looked after.
Yeah? You'll be more than looked after. I'll give you a ticket, but I know you're a bit of a diva. You might want a box or something like that.
I want to be where it's just rough and just ready. I want to be there.
Yeah? You want to be like in the grip?
All on stage.
Okay, yeah, that's it. On stage. Deal.
Cool. Deal, we're done. Yeah? All right,
yes.
What about your single?
Single Radioactive comes out on the 10th of February. So I'll be on tour when it comes out. But it's going to be a fun day to celebrate because I'll be on the tour doing a show. So if we keep it in the history and that at least goes top 10, I will be.
We want #1, man. Make sure you guys go out and buy this album. It's not a joke.
Yeah.
Come on. #1.
Get
man.
it.
You got to keep up with traditions.
Exactly.
One.
I've had enough. I don't want to ask for too much. I've had enough. I've had good fun. So anything that happens, I don't care. But it'll be awesome if it does. We'll make like history.
All right. Well, good. Well, good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right. Cool.
Hi, I'm Rita Ora, and you are watching 5 Magazine.